The curious case of Baarle is one of the strangest border situations in Europe, if not the world. At the heart of it lies Baarle Hertog, a collection of small Belgian enclaves scattered inside the Dutch municipality of Baarle-Nassau in the southern Netherlands. To understand why a Belgian village is trapped inside the Netherlands, we must trace back through centuries of medieval treaties, land swaps, and feudal disputes that froze into modern international law. The story begins in the Middle Ages. Around the 12th and 13th centuries, this region was divided between two powerful lords, the Duke of Brabant and the Lord of Breda. The Duke of Brabant controlled much of what later became Belgium, while the Lord of Breda, a vassal of the House of Nassau, held lands in what is now the Netherlands. At that time, borders were not fixed lines, but rather the result of feudal land ownership. The Duke of Brabant and the Lord of Breda exchanged parcels of territory, granting lands, rights, and villages through feudal contracts. In this process, some of the lands around Baarle remained under the Duke of Brabant, while others passed to the Lord of Breda. Because the land transfers were piecemeal, the outcome was a patchwork parcels of Brabantine land surrounded by Nassau territory. By the 15th century, this mosaic of overlapping claims was already entrenched. Some farms, fields, and houses were tied legally to Brabant, while their neighbors were part of Breda. For centuries, local peasants lived under two different feudal jurisdictions, sometimes with different taxes, laws, and obligations, even if their homes stood side by side. This medieval anomaly survived the sweeping political changes of early modern Europe. When the Burgundian dukes and later the Habsburgs unified the Low Countries, the odd arrangement of Baarle remained intact. Even after the 80 Years' War, when the northern Netherlands won independence as the Dutch Republic in the late 16th century, the enclaves of Brabantine land inside Nassau territories, instead they persisted as part of the southern Netherlands, which remained under Spanish, then Austrian, Habsburg rule. The situation became even more entrenched in the 19th century when Belgium declared independence from the Netherlands in 1830. At that moment, all lands belonging historically to Brabant became Belgian, while the lands of Nassau remained Dutch. This division transformed the old feudal patchwork into an international border. The Treaty of Maastricht in 1843 attempted to fix the border between Belgium and the Netherlands. For most of the frontier, the line was settled with relative clarity, but Baarle presented a problem. Each side based its claims on centuries-old charters, feudal contracts, and property deeds, some dating back to the Middle Ages. Negotiators could not reconcile them, so they simply codified the confusion. As a result, the Border Commission recognized no fewer than 22 separate Belgian enclaves within the Netherlands, all under the municipality of Baarle Hertog, and within those, several Dutch counter-enclaves belonging to Baarle-Nassau. Today, Baarle Hertog consists of 22 Belgian enclaves inside Dutch territory, together covering about 7.5 square kilometers. Some are just clusters of houses, a few streets, or even individual farms. The Dutch municipality of Baarle-Nassau completely surrounds them. To complicate matters further, inside some Belgian enclaves, there are smaller Dutch enclaves, making them counter-enclaves. This creates one of the most complex border arrangements in the world. The practical effects are visible in everyday life. Houses may literally straddle the border. In some cases, a single building lies partly in Belgium and partly in the Netherlands. By convention, the nationality of the house is determined by the location of its front door. If the door is on Belgian soil, the house belongs to Baarle Hertog. If on Dutch soil, it belongs to Baarle-Nassau. This arrangement has forced businesses, shops, and even restaurants to adapt. At different times in the 20th century, when Dutch law restricted Sunday trading but Belgian law did not, shops on the Belgian side would move their entrance to the Belgian part of the building to stay open. The persistence of this fragmented village owes much to the fact that neither Belgium nor the Netherlands ever pressed for a radical solution. The arrangement may appear awkward, but it has been accepted as part of the historical fabric of the Low Countries. The European Union's Schengen Agreement, which abolished border checks, has made the division less disruptive in daily life. Yet the borders are still legally in force, marked by white crosses and brass plaques running through streets and buildings. Baarle's case also became a subject of international law and geography studies. Enclaves are relatively rare worldwide, and Baarle represents the most intricate example. Unlike other enclaves created by colonial treaties or modern wars, Baarle's origins lie in feudal land grants nearly a millennium old. What makes the history unique is its continuity. Many other medieval oddities disappeared with the rise of modern nation-states, But Baarle survived every political upheaval: Habsburg consolidation, Dutch independence, the Belgian Revolution, and modern border treaties. Each time, negotiators chose to preserve the medieval status quo rather than redraw the map. The result is a Belgian village trapped inside the Netherlands, not by accident but by the stubborn survival of feudal contracts signed long before anyone could imagine modern borders. Baarle Hertog and Baarle Nassau together form a living museum of medieval territorial law, where the past still shapes the geography of the present.